Hello, my dear students. It's time to add some realism to the game. Today, we'll be shooting enemies. Currently, we have the ability to fire at enemies in bursts, but they don't react to it at all because they have no concept of bullets and damage. First, let's understand one important thing. To detect the collision of two objects, we can use a block called a volume trigger. This block doesn't use any physics and collision shapes. However, in our game, there will be multiple bullets on the screen and a crowd of enemies. It's not just two objects. We will have two arrays of objects, one for bullets and one for enemies. And we need to track all objects for collisions with each other. So, we need to add rigid body and collision shapes to both bullets and enemies. Let's start with the enemy. Select it. Go to the physics properties and add a rigid body. Choose passive mode and select the collision shape as a cube. Now, let's select the bullet. Add a rigid body in passive mode as well. And this time, change the collision shape to spherical. The setup is complete. Let's move on to the code. We'll create a new branch called Enemy Collision and immediately link it to the enemy. Now, we need to create two arrays of objects. One for bullets and one for enemies. A array and a collection are the same thing. So, at the root of the project, let's create two folders, named Bullets and Enemies. Place the bullet in the Bullets folder and the enemy in the Enemies folder. Now, let's sketch out a rough algorithm that will remove the enemy from the scene if it collides with a bullet. Grab the on-contact array block. Leave the object field empty so that each individual enemy checks for collision with itself. Connect the array channel to a collection block, specifying the bullets folder. If this check yields a positive result, we will remove the current object using the remove object block. That's it for starters. It may seem logical that if a bullet hits an enemy, it should disappear. However, all our rosy dreams will shatter against the iron wall of harsh reality. At this stage, we must realize another important truth. To grasp the truth, we need to go to the enemy spawn branch and add a print block. Immediately after spawning, we will print the name of the folder of the spawned object to the console. We can find out the folder of the selected object using the getObjectCollection block. Let's enable our beloved and indispensable system console, start the game, and see which folder the enemies end up in right after spawning. Judging by the picture, it seems like none. That's precisely why no collisions are being tracked, as the folders created for enemies and bullets are empty. Fixing this is very easy. Grab another block called Add Object to Collection and plug it in right after the spawn. In the collection field, enter the enemies folder. Connect the cable from the spawn block to the object channel since we need this specific, just spawned object. Let's run the game again and check the console. Now, everything looks good. We are now confident that every spawned enemy is being accounted for and placed in the correct folder. Now we need to do the same for bullets. Each bullet, right after spawning, should be added to the bullets folder. Only then will our collision check work. Let's remove the console output blocks. Go to the player shoot branch and notice that in this branch, we have a total of 8 spawn blocks for bullets. We would have to adjust the code in 8 different places. However, a good programmer should be lazy, so we'll take the path of least resistance. Let's go to the bullet move branch. Take a close look at the code. See? The onInit block triggers once, right after the object appears on the scene. This code will execute individually for each spawn bullet. Right here, after the onInit block, we'll add the add object to collection block. In the collection field, enter the bullets folder. Leave the object field empty this time since the bullet will refer to itself. Let's spare the console this time. Load the game and let the mass shooting begin. Now everything is working. Let's immerse ourselves in the game for a bit, rejoice in success, and eagerly await the next lesson. Goodbye for now.